Going to the bank is not always convenient, but Rokel Commercial Bank has made life easier. I can instantly transfer money to my sister at the university. She can now pay her fees. My wife doesn't need to travel to the bank to check her balance, giving her more time to pamper herself. Even my mother manages her account with LC Bank internet banking at home. Now she can pay the bills online. She has more time to cater for others. Thanks to Rokel Commercial Bank online banking and Rokel SIM Corpo, you have instant access and control of your account. Save time and enjoy the little things in life. Rokel Commercial Bank, the bank of choice.
And of course, welcome. Sorry for that breaking transmission due to some technical issue. As my co-presenters describe or explain or introduce our guest in the studio, she's Kate Countries, of course, one of the co-director for Telem Uncommon Sounds, Freetown. She's here to talk about the works of Telem and also to open our eyes to certain things that most of our entertainers can't gain from the social media, of course, the DSP, the digital streaming platforms. Welcome again, Kate, to Star Good Morning Show. Of course, we want to know what has Telem been doing. Of course, people can maybe Telem. People think it's a communication company, mobile telecommunication company. The name alone, Telem. But of course, your own mandate is quite different from what people think. Can you please explain to us about Telem?
Yeah, I would be happy to. First of all, thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure to be here with you. So Telem Uncommon Sounds started as an initiative out of myself and two other musicians, working musicians here in Freetown. And we started because we wanted to put together kind of a songwriter circle to be able to share the music that we were doing and to build it together. And there are a lot of people, I think, like the three of us, who are making music that's a little bit uncommon, something that doesn't sound like what you would normally hear. And so we thought, well, how can we build on what we're doing and try and provide a platform for lots of musicians who are making all different kinds of musics to make their music, to perform it, and then to get it out into global music platforms and music channels. And so we just started bit by bit. We did one concert, and after we did that concert, it was very successful. We had a wonderful show featuring some additional artists in addition to ourselves. We did a songwriting retreat where we went off for a few days and just, day after day, working on coming up with new songs together. We did a music production masterclass. Solos Beat was the teacher for that. Just offering a few days at a time for people to come together and learn some of the more nuanced elements of how to actually produce music together. We did another show, and then so bit by bit, as we kind of go along and make our way doing different kinds of things, seeing where there's interest, trying to find a way to showcase lots of different artists. We're now at this point where we're looking to see how can we keep contributing to make sure that our music ecosystem is as flourishing as it can be. And so that's our goal at the moment.
I think it's a good one, but the acceptance, because talking about an uncommon sound that people think it's not part of what we've been hearing. This sounds quite different. Maybe sometimes people might flout at it. No, this is not of our music in Sierra Leone here. But you coming with an uncommon sound that, of course, it will not be pleasing to the ear, but with time, more especially, I think I watched one of your videos when you do one of these jazz thing, then you started to sing. So it was playing and you started to sing, like it was so not pleasing to the ear, but when listening, you take your time to go through, oh, this is just a creative thing. Yes, what has been some of the responses from people concerning your common sounds, the acceptance and all of this?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I think part of what we want to try to do is for ourselves as a group and the musicians that we featured on the platform play so many different genres of music, from jazz, like you mentioned, acoustic guitar, we have Afro soul, we have just like a whole variety. Solo himself does Afro jazz, Afro fusion. There's just a whole variety of different kinds of music that we're presenting. And that's part of the idea, is to, you know, offer something that's a little bit different than what you're hearing. And we found that there are lots of people who are looking for that fresh inspiration, something they haven't heard before. You know, it may not be for everybody. Sometimes we all get in this way when we get in a mood and we just want to listen to this one musician who we know we like, and we want to listen to that, and that's fine. You know, but part of what we're trying to do is provide spaces for people who are doing something different to keep expanding the boundaries of what's creatively happening.
People ask, why is it that the band of talent, or the group of people, not so huge, not so large, just like you, another lady like Harold, you know, Solos Beats, but you giving us a quality sound without a large amount of people coming together. Like, you know, it has been the usual thing, like we'll have like the bass guitarist, the drummer, the percussionist, all these people making a band, but you're just like 4 or 5 of you. Why is it that not so large team of talent?
Well, so each time we do a concert, we try to feature new performers, and so there's been a core of us, like, to have any live music, you need a certain, you know, number of things to just kind of keep the music going. You need that piano, the guitar, the percussion, the singing. But we try each time to feature somebody new. So we had the Secret Sessions concert recently, where we didn't tell anybody the location or the performers until 24 hours ahead. And when they arrived, they found one of them was Gwen Allen, who's an established performer. One of them was Boy Manya, who's 17 years old, like a up-and-coming, I think she's a musical genius. She has an incredible voice. We featured Reeves, we featured Welly, we featured lots of different performers on the stage, and that's, I think, part of the goal, is each time, and we have a show coming up on November 26th, and we have some new performers for that as well. So, you know, as musicians and as creatives, we're also just trying to go at the speed of quality. Yeah, we try, you know, we try not to, like, do something so big that we can't manage it and make sure that we're doing it well. We just want to go slowly, bit by bit, and make sure that if we're inviting somebody onto a platform, that we're providing a high quality platform for them to share their art and their talent. So everything takes time.
Okay, so is it to say that you bring in this initiative and it's so creative that you guys have found out that most times these musicians tend to use other people's sound or imitate other people, so you decided to bring this creativity?
Yeah, so I think a lot of times when people make music, they think it needs to sound like music from Nigeria or Ghana or South Africa or Kenya or whatever. And they're wonderful music genres. I mean, there's a reason those genres are so popular over the whole world. Like, and the whole world wants to consume those genres that are being put on Spotify and Apple and everything. And we have amazing music here too. It's not as common to find it on Spotify. Like, I don't know if you use Spotify, but on Spotify you can look at different playlists that are curated. So for example, if you like music coming from Kenya, there are so many different playlists that Spotify has put together. If you look for This is Sierra Leone, you'll find individual users who've put their playlists, but you won't find something that's globally curated as Sierra Leonean music. So we're asking, why is that? And it turns out it's because there aren't as many of our musicians on these platforms. But as you can see, like, Spotify came here, I think, 2 years ago. TuneCore is one of the few music distribution companies, and we'll talk about that in a bit, that covers Sierra Leone. The world wants what the continent has to offer in terms of music, and we want to make sure that Sierra Leonean musicians are in the forefront of offering that too. So that's why we're trying to make sure that we're able to, you know, get as many people as possible into these global channels where there's so much demand for their songs.
So you spoke about Spotify, and you guys are trying to sensitize these people out there, but most times people say most of Sierra Leoneans, they do not even know about this platform. So how do you intend to popularize the sensitization process?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think a lot of people are familiar with Audiomack and Google Play, YouTube, SoundCloud. And these are great ways of, you know, just making sure your music is online so that people can hear it. There are really few barriers to access. I mean, you have to make sure you have a data connection for sure. Once you establish that, you have a light source, you can get your music up there, that's fine. And that will, I think, continue to be a way that a lot of people share music. But there's a lot of money that's going missing for people who aren't properly registering their music and putting it through distribution channels where they'll be able to collect royalties when that music is played in a whole different number of market situations. So that's part of why we want to bring some of the awareness to the ways that it is possible for people here to take advantage of that. It may not be, loads and loads of money right away. You still have to work, build your community, build your audience. Maybe you have a lot of people on AudioMac who are following you, and you can use that to drive people to a channel where you'll be actually making some money off of it. So we're thinking about how these things are all complementary and work together, so that there are more Sierra Leonean musicians who have the ability to really make a living off of their craft and be contributing something.
Of course, tell them is partnering with TuneCore, just as you explained about the distribution companies, of course, digital streaming platforms. On the 5th of November, 2022, you held a conference bringing musicians or entertainers together, telling them about the TuneCore platform and how they can benefit from some of these things you are explaining. But for viewers for the first time listening to what you're saying about TuneCore, what is TuneCore and what are their aims and objectives?
Their aims and objectives, sure. Like I said, if you are a musician and you want to have your music on Apple Music, for example, you need to use a third-party company called a music distributor and a publisher to first make sure that your music is copyrighted, that you own the rights to it and other people can't use it and say that it's their own. And then you need to distribute it. You need to get it to these places that accept music only from distributors. So TuneCore does that for people. And there's lots of these different platforms, CD Baby, DistroKid, there's a lot of them in the world. Not all of them actually cover Sierra Leone, and TuneCore made a conscious choice in the past 2 years or so to hire somebody to lead East and West Africa. Her name is Chioma Onachukwu, and she came for this workshop this weekend. It was her first time to Sierra Leone, and it's one of their markets within her broader portfolio. So they made a decision to say, no, we want to invest in what's happening with the Sierra Leonean music scene and help get it out into the world. So we became aware that they covered Sierra Leone as a country and reached out to them to say, hey, can we partner, because there's so much great music, we're not seeing it on these platforms at the rates we would want to see. Can we do something together? So we were able to partner. She came here. We held a workshop on the topic of, music distribution. How does it actually work? Because it's confusing. I still remain confused about elements of it. It's a business that has a lot of unique complexities to it. But she kind of laid out, okay, this is how it works. She talked about how you can use the TuneCore platform to distribute your music. And then we were able to have a panel discussion that sort of zoomed out to look at the bigger picture, like, if what we want to do is really unlock the creative economy in Sierra Leone, what are the kinds of things that we can do? And so that was part of the conversation as well.
Of course, Sierra Leone has gone through some sad stories concerning entertainment, not gaining royalty from songs. Sometimes a musician tends to, let me do this song because I want to do it, and after that, it's just that. No way. Sometimes musicians will tell you that I've poured like 8, 9 million, 10 million in my songs and videos just for the people and just see me no more, and then that just pass. But people are really not, and this has gone to the heart of them being discouraged about investing or taking the entertainment business serious. So what do you think with TuneCore and Telen, will it be successful if they can use this platform and utilize all the facilities in it? Will be successful for them to gain what they're missing?
Yeah, I guess it depends on the individual musician and what their goals are. If they have a goal of getting their music out into the world more broadly, at this point, all of the pieces are there. I'm not saying it's the easiest thing in the world, but the pieces are there to make it happen. So you can make your music, you can record it in a studio, you can work, the piece of things that's about copyright, publishing, intellectual property is something we need to get into more deeply. That needs a little bit more work. but you can distribute it, and once it's distributed, you can promote it. Those pieces are there. What we're trying to do in collaboration, not just with TuneCore, we've been working very closely with Orange Digital Center is where this workshop was. So is to try and like provide education and awareness about how to do each of those things so that the whole pathway is ideally as smooth as possible. So for example, the people who participated in our workshop got a 1-year free access to upload their music for distribution onto the TuneCore platform. And we're very grateful also to Orange Digital Center that they've offered some time slots for people to come and use the data to be able to upload the songs. We're aware that cost is an issue, we're aware that data is an issue, sort of money payment platforms. I think we would love to see TuneCore and other entities move in the direction of mobile money because that makes things a lot more accessible rather than credit cards or debit cards. It can be difficult with those. So we're trying to work out each of these things so that through the whole sort of process, it's like it becomes as fluid as possible. And hopefully, the more that we're able to all work together and contribute what we can to make that process smooth, then we see less and less discouragement. The discouragement is real, and we heard a lot about that in the workshop and the conversation. People who've been so dedicated to their craft over so many years in spite of the frustrations to kind of keep going with their music. And that's really honorable. That shows you how much, creative determination there is. And really what we want to try to do is work out these technical elements so that it just becomes a bit easier and more fluid.
So is it that Tell Them and TuneCore are planning to have all Sierra Leonean musicians on board, or if you want, basically presently, if you want to come on board, you have to pay for your music to be distributed, because you already said you guys gave 1 year free to these guests you invited?
Yeah, that's a good question. So for this partnership between Telem and TuneCore, we were very grateful that TuneCore offered generously to make that available to the workshop participants. In general, as a musician, you have to put down some money in order to get your music out there. They have a variety of different plans. There is one that's completely free and it distributes to social media sites, and there are others that are graduated at different levels. I think there's one that's $14.99 for like 15 USD, maybe one that's 30 USD, and something that's 60 USD, depending on what your needs are, if you're a record label, if you're an independent artist, if you're just getting started. So, if you want to make use of the platform, you can. It's just depending on what level you're interested in. And so that's like a yearly unlimited fee or something like that, I think. Don't quote me on all the details of how their platform works. If you go to the platform, tunecore.com, you can see exactly what the options are. And there are Sierra Leonean artists, of course, who are already in Spotify and Apple and all these other places, and there are different ways that they've, gotten themselves there too. So TuneCore is one important option. We have a great relationship with them, and it's a great option for people living here in Sierra Leone.
Yes, can any song be being distributed to TuneCore and as well as make some royalty when there is no quality in the production?
You mean like any song, no matter how it sounds?
No matter how it sounds, because of course people might say, okay, let me use the opportunity without properly providing or properly putting their work together. Like, of course, you mentioned and Chuma mentioned the program about the 4 P's of marketing, and of course, quality as well is part of the production aspect. But sometimes people might, because this has been the problem of Sierra Leoneans. Of course, they tend to just produce music anyhow. You understand? Not putting all in the year of lyrics, in the year of instrumentation, rhythm, and all of these, making the quality to sound like the Nigerians or the other African musicians that are eating the world right now. But they tend to do it as casual as it is. As long as it sounds pam, boom, let's go, let's. So I'm a big artist, so I need to send it to TuneCore, because sometimes people might have the money but without no quality production. What would you say about that?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I think there are two parts of it. One is about the quality of the music production, and one is about the technical aspect of getting it on the platforms. As far as I'm aware, if you have music that doesn't infringe any copyright, so if you're putting your own music up there, it doesn't sound like something that's already been copyrighted, and they check for that. If it's your own sound, and it's in the proper file format, then it goes up. And then the market decides whether or not it's good quality or not good quality, right? It's up to the listeners to decide if they want to listen to that. So in terms of the technical specifics, it has to, make sure that it's not infringing on anybody's copyright. You're not putting up music that belongs to somebody else, and it's in the right file format. And they do check that. When you upload music, if you make any mistake with your files for your songs, they come back and check and say, it sounds like this file is something, they actually listen to everything that goes up before it goes up. So that's the technical side of things. In terms of the quality of music production, I think this is like anything else that's part of a flourishing creative economy. So the reason we're using this frame, creative economy, is because when you look at the ways that creative industries contribute to the economy, there's a lot that we can do to further that. Potentially thinking also for the future, where we're looking at the fourth industrial revolution, we're looking at societies and economies that are driven by innovation and entrepreneurship and being on the edge of the next creative thing that's happening. Creative industries are a really important part and can contribute a lot towards the economy in that way. So part of what you're saying about the quality of the music production, if we can keep increasing the quality, keep increasing people's skills and capacity to produce, and this is why we've offered the music production master classes, then we're just continuing to contribute overall to the quality of the creative industries and the overall economic value that the country gets from that. So that is definitely something that's important.
Yes. As we try to round it up, I think my co-presenter might have a question. Well, to try to round it up, of course, would it be a normal routine for Telem Uncommon Service to organize this kind of a workshop, like quarterly, so that the orientation and of course the awareness will be there all the time? Because Sierra Leone, of course, the entertainers need this kind of thing, like a push syndrome. They need like this everyday push syndrome. Someone that will tell them, okay, don't give up, move, don't give up, move. Would it be like a repetition? Would it be like a thing that would be common to tell them every like quarterly? I want to just a suggestion because I was part of the conference.
Yeah, you were there, and it was wonderful to have you there and participating in that. I think one of the things we heard from our discussion is that there's a desire to keep building, let's call it the relational infrastructure between musicians, so that they can be a complement to the industry players and also to the development of intellectual property regime, which is developing. We were fortunate to have a representative from the Office of the Administrator and Registrar General here in Sierra Leone, OARG, and they really are the ones that are showing leadership on the development of intellectual property. For our songs and our music to be protected, we need to make sure we have a collecting society. And in order to have a collecting society, we need to, amongst ourselves as musicians, organize ourselves together so that we can work together with other creative industries to make sure that becomes a reality. So I think what you're saying is right. In order to do that, we need to keep meeting with each other and building and little by little sort of putting all of the pieces together so that we can do that.
Yes. Yeah.
If I can, I just want to say another thing,
Okay.
which is that Telem has two sort of events coming up.
Oh,
I mentioned
okay.
we have a show on November 26th.
Okay.
That will be at Lax Villa. And then we're also, next week, there's the National Youth Employment and Education Fair that's being hosted, I believe, at Pintumani by the Office of the Vice President, Ministry of Trade, and others. And so we will be performing there, but we're also Solo's Beats, and then Harold, Nat Johnson, who goes by Fret Walker, they're going to be hosting some live sessions with people who participate. So Solo's going to be hosting a live production session. If you have like a song idea and you want to try to build it out, you should come to the fair and work with Solo. We're going to have musical instruments there. We're going to have everything set up so it's possible to actually make some live music, jam together. And then Harold is going to be offering a workshop on the second day, which is the Wednesday of the conference, about careers in music. And he's developed a really successful career in music, so he's a great expert to hear.
And of course, Solos Beats just released all of his album, and also I want to swear released a song, Creative Mentality. Can you give us some just about it? The Solos Beats album, and also the song, the video that Fred Walker just released.
Yes, I will do my best to speak about them. So Jungle Heart is the name of the album that Solos Beat just released, and he released it with a number of artists or on songs on that album. It's available on Spotify, on Apple Music, on Boomplay, all of these places. He used TuneCore to upload that album. It's a fantastic album with lots of different genres and collaborations. It's really exciting. And then, Harold also just released a really interesting song that he did. If you look at it as a video, it looks like there's triplets of Harold. I don't know if you see the video, but
he's playing bass, guitar, and the keyboard,
exactly.
And also
he's playing 3 instruments at the same time. He's wearing 3 different outfits, and it's like, how did he do this? It's really creative, and the music, the sound itself is also very uncommon. So it's really cool to see these things, happening. Iyabode is another example. She has an EP that she's going to be releasing soon, and her music is also really beautiful and different and interesting. So there's so much great stuff there. We're really excited as Tulane to be able to support it.
Thank you.
So the career event, is it open to everybody and it's free?
It's free.
Yeah, it's a national event to anybody. And they're going to have lots of different kinds of sessions, workshops, not just focused on music, obviously. There are a lot of careers, but we're going to try to contribute to the creative quarter, again, with Orange.
What about Lax Villa? Is it also free, or is it
That one
cost?
is not free. We have to try to keep ourselves going as Tulane, so there will be different ticket prices depending on.
Like,
I think we're starting at 150 leons, and then we'll have some different options up to about 1,000 leons. It's different. I'm excited. We're going to be releasing some information about that on our social media today. It's at Tulane Freetown on Instagram.
okay.
Yeah.
Is that the only social media platforms you have for now?
That's the main one that we're using, yeah.
So thank you once again, Kate Contreras, for having you. Of course, he's the co-director of Telling Uncommon Sounds Freetown, and of course, she has been more instrumental to the entertainers here in Sierra Leone. Of course, we are proud to have you, of course, because this has been the first time somebody might create a link between a digital streaming platform and, of course, the entertainers in Sierra Leone. Thank you once again, Kate.
My pleasure.
Yes, we'll go for a short break, and we'll come back and continue the program. We go for a song done by Mosby. They call it song Maholima.
Yeah, this song right here, I dedicate for all the mothers around the world. For all the mothers that have been here for the sons and daughters, I want to say thank you. Vital, you wicked on this beat, man. I never knew the day would come, I write a song for you, for the pain and suffering. Let me sing a song for you. Mama, 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 mama. I write a song for you. Mama, 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 mama. I sing a song for you. Mama, 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 mama. I write a song for you. Mama, 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 mama. Imaloli ma benumbe, imaloli ma biyambe, imaloli ma benumbe. Kimba kama ya kimba songa, kimba kama ba you. Kimba kama ya kimba songa, kimba kama ba you. Wali, 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 wali na nando. Wali, 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 wali na na yo. I never knew the day would come, so I a song for you. All you've done for me. Let me sing a song for you. Mama, 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 mama. I write a song for you. Mama, mama, mama. I sing the song for you. Mama, mama, na na na. I write a song for you. Yeah. Mama.
It's borderline ENT.
Splash on the beat.
I don't sacrifice, I know they compromise. I go lay me life, oh. I don't realize, me loving no go minimize. It go dey maximize, oh. I turn wrong, go to Gucci. Hey.
Viewers, if you're just joining us, this is the entertainment segment on the Star the Morning Show on Star Television, Channel 21. And that was Pain Done for Us by Camouflage. And also we had Maholima by Musbi. As we know, he just lost his mother. Condolence to the family. And as I said earlier, we've just been joined in the studio by Solos Beats and also Reverend Joe Dixon Content from the Hosanna Praise Ministry and Life Changing Praise Mass Choir, and he's the tutor and the leader. And also we have Franklina Jana, one of the choristers.
Yeah, welcome.
It's nice having you.
Nice having you. Yes.
Okay, so Reverend, you're welcome.
Yeah.
So you said the Hosanna Praise and Praise Life Changing Praise, it's a collaboration of two teams. So take us through, what's it all about?
Yeah, actually we want to thank God for being in the studio and thank God for Star Radio, Star Television. Hosanna Praise Ministries was formed 15 years ago after the rebel incursion and the liberation of Freetown, and God gave me a word that we should gather Salonians together to praise and worship God and thank God for the fact that we can see peace once again. And one of our strong goals is to teach the discipleship training program to ensure people know the nitty-gritties or the nuggets about praise, worship, and music. This we have been doing for the past years, and now we've just done a month-long praise, worship, and music theoretical and practical training in the Life-Changing Christian Center, LCCI, which is my own ministry. And we'll be doing the graduation on Sunday coming, the 13th, at 2 p.m. and we'll be giving the graduates certificates, and we'll be having other churches, praise master that have Hosanna praise ministries that are affected, and they will be coming around to ensure that this will be a blessing. And we'll be having another competition on the same day. We want to choose the praise graduates of the year. So it will be a loaded program full of praises for what God has done. So that's all what will be coming up this Sunday at 2. Number 3 Upper Ferguson Street, Life-Changing Christian Center Ministry.
So for the past 15 years you've been organizing this event and you've trained choristers. So how have you transformed this choristers? Like, is it that you help them in releasing songs, or it's just for churches?
Well, some have released songs and some have been further strengthened. You know, we have what we call having a zeal in doing something and being knowledgeable about the thing. That's what I'm all about. And that has taken me to places and taken me to various platforms, because I know I can move any crowd because of what God has imputed in me. And this is what I want to pass on to them. I want us to know in life, after this life, God has to ask us a question. What did you do with the gift that I gave to you? I want to stand boldly and tell God, I've been training them, sir, giving them what you gave me. So this has what has happened, and positively they have been impacted, because I give them the best they can to ensure that whatever platform, if even it's the biggest platform, stadiums and other areas, you can still move that crowd because of what is in your inner man. You cannot give what is not in. So we are ensuring we build them spiritually, we give them the physical aspects and so on. So it's a month-long program, and we are finished now. And yeah, I said, God has used me to write up a pamphlet that entails all what you need to know as a praise, worship, and music minister.
Yes.
And I believe
Reverend, of course, allegedly it has been a battle within the pastors and musicians that most times you strengthen them spiritually, but might not strengthen us physically. In the year of course, there are a lot of musicians going through some lot of constraints, maybe schooling, maybe shelter, maybe all of these things. But not the spiritual aspect someone might need at the moment. But what do you do, or your organization do, to see how best some of these challenges that musicians face in their personal life, like of course needing finances to set 1 or 2, 3 issues you've able to tackle? Because sometimes if the mind, the physical mind is not in place, you can't be able to have them concentrated on the spiritual aspect.
okay, that's fine. I'm a living example.
Okay.
I'm a preacher man, I'm a singer man, and I'm also working. If you go to the Bible, Paul wrote almost half of the New Testament, but this guy was a tent maker. What is baffling people now, what is tormenting Christians now, is that they don't want to do anything. You must do something to make sure you meet up with what is happening. Look at the challenges we're having now in our nation and the world at large. Things are difficult. But if you try your own way, I can always say something. Do all you can, and God will do all you cannot. Just make your own efforts. I believe things will work. I have a family now, but I'm still working. You see, I'm a security intelligence personnel attached to the Central Bank of Sierra Leone. You see, so I find something to do, even though I'm a singer man. They blesses me at times. I go, maybe as they bless me nicely, I'm so happy the kind of way they bless me, but still I'm not focused there. I want to do something. So my message to them out there, even though you are trained, you have all the gifts and everything, make sure you do something. You can do business, or you can be employed, or do something. That's all my message to them, sir.
Okay, with that great, you want to add?
No, I was just saying, since Jana is one of the participants for the event, and how impactful was this to you?
Well, it's such an opportunity for us to be here because we have never gone through anything. Let me say, we only go through practice, but what impacts in us make us even more better than what we were before. It helps us to be patient, to be self-disciplined. You know, music is all about creativity. It's also about fun. It helps to boost up yourself in a man. It's also a way of communicating to God and also to one another of how you feel.
Okay, so one of the things you learned is being patient or
Being patient, self-discipline.
So how have you been using that in because most times we see people, they are more hearers than doers. Like you go to this event, you listen to the teaching, and then it ends there. You go out, you do different things.
Yeah, we also practice it in church. Like one of the most
Are there evidence?
yes. The most important thing there is it's yourself between you and God.
Okay.
So because you can tell the world that you are doing this, but you know yourself you're not doing it. Because one of the most important things there is the thing I learned the most is we undergo through fasting. Like during the Saturdays to meet up with a Sunday service, we undergo fasting.
Before ever you implement your role as a praise worship leader.
Yes.
Okay, I'll come to that. Of course, we're using your creativity and solo speech. Of course, you've been one of the name alone Uncommon. Telem Uncommon sounds. Of course, Kate was explaining about how Telem has been and the wondrous things they've been doing. But you've been one kind of a creative producer. Well, that's it's so uncommon in Sierra Leone to have your type because, of course, and I would say proudly we are proud of you. Just last week you released an album where you feature a lot of musicians, a host of different musicians, and this has not been that kind of thing in Sierra Leone. We've had people doing songs, it's all about me and me alone, but you've featured a lot of musicians. You go into the gospel, you break boundaries, you break barriers, you break all of these things. Tell us more about this album.
This album is my second album. It's called Jungle Heart.
Yeah.
I featured 4 singers. Airbody, Motolani, Junes, and Daniel Bangura. This album actually complements what I've been through since last year to this year. It teaches me how, just take the jungle for example. Despite the jungle is beautiful, the greens, the waters, the streams, beautiful birds, calm animals. Again, you find wildlife in there, but everything is just there to complement the beauty and the roughness. And that's how my heart has been over the years. So I just decided, okay, since this song was inspired by Airbody, the Jungle Heart song, I just take all of my stories and feelings and just put it into this music. And this whole album and this whole project and just name it Jungle Heart. And I tried also 80% of the percussions I used to create the beats from plastics, rubbers, ball, spoons, body percussions, and some chants I write for my kids.
Is this creative aspect of you being that, of course, it's something that you experience and you try to implement them, because it sounds often taking a sound from a plastic and then before the magazine turn music over, and it sounds very good when it turns music. Do you first realize it when you maybe you take the plastic, you knock and force, or you do anyone can do you then say okay, well I go to Kanban studio.
Well,
How all of these things come about?
I usually spend most of my time daily alone, thinking and realizing certain things. So since 2020, I realized everything around me is a sound repository. So I started observing car horns. I realized most of the cars in Sierra Leone are in either the key of E or D. And then I started realizing the wind and bike engine sound. So I started thinking and then observing how people are walking. It's already a pace. So I used everything around me and then start observing and start taking details. And then I observed most of the sounds in the DAW are always the same. Every music you listen to, the styles might be different, but the sound they use is almost the same. So I'm like, how can I create music which the styles are already there, but the sound people will ask me, where do you get the sound from? Where do you get the sound? So I started using things around me to create the same thing, but just different vibe.
Are some of these your presets are accessible to maybe somebody that might want to use? Well, of course, we can see, and the Western world will know that, okay, this person has been the sole owner of this particular sound. And whenever a producer do a song, you credit, okay, it's a sound from Beat by Dre and all. So how can we access, because we want to be part of some of our local content, how can someone in Sierra Leone be accessible to some of these preset sounds?
Well, I'm working on sample packs to sell, but it's to do the coding, that's the most difficult part, which I don't know. But I've been recording some of the loops and sounds, I mean the 5-gallon sound, the plastic sounds, I've been recording and keeping them. But to create it as a sample pack, which takes a whole lot of coding and some software engineering time, which I don't know where to start from, but I'm getting there. But that's the project for 2023.
So also you've been hosting some mastering classes for your fellow musicians that want to gain idea from music mastering and all of these things. What's, in your own way, you think has been some of the challenges with producers in Sierra Leone in the area of sound quality, productions, and also, of course, you are one of the organizers of the Telem TuneCore event, and you add some of the stories or the experiences from entertainers on not getting royalties from their music. What do you think as a master producer?
One of the things I've been thinking about as a producer, working with different artists and knowing different producers and knowing different musicians. Generally, Sierra Leone musicians, no disrespect, but 80% are lazy in the sense they hate the idea of sitting down, finding themselves, creating something new. Instead, they just want to sample, just copy what's already trending. So what I was teaching people at the masterclass was, listen to yourself, imagine things, play it with your mouth and actualize it on the piano or with the software. That's what the masterclass was all about. And about the TuneCore, basically we're trying to teach musicians to take their work seriously. I mean, you've worked hard to produce your song, to record your song. Put it in a platform where over the year you'll make money out of it. You will not work so hard and then give out your materials for free, allowing people to pirate it, to just download it free. So yeah, basically telling we're just trying to change the narrative, just shift things to a better place.
You being a producer does not only stop there, you also musician, and you have this, you've interacted with so many Sierra Leone artists, you've had the opportunity to work with many, and you have your own fan base. So how have you, what are the challenges, or you see you already mentioned that most of the Sierra Leonean artists are lazy, but it's no disrespect, and that's acceptable. So, what do you think are some of the reasons for this?
Well, one of the reasons for being lazy as a musician is, I usually think about some people are born from the box, in the box, some are born around the box, some are just influenced by seeing the box. You realize your strength if you're a talented musician, gifted musician, born as a musician, which creativity comes easy. But someone who borns around the box, like they just go to music school or being influenced by someone, they need to work harder. They need to have the attitude of rehearsing every day, build the discipline of researching and learning new things, because it will take you days or months to learn one thing. And that's most of the people we get in Sierra Leone. People are just around and being influenced. But the discipline behind getting from one, let's say for example, there are some artists who are lucky, first song, it's a hit, and that's it.
Yeah.
The celebrity lifestyle is there, but you hardly find singers waking up in the morning doing vocal days. You hardly find singers waking up in the morning, go to the gym, exercise, write their music on book and pen. They just come to the studio blank. Man, just so artists from Nigeria just make this song, I want you for sample. That's laziness. You hardly find people who come with a full song on their book. This is the intro, this is my lyrics. This is everything. You only find few people like that, and that's the thing I'm talking about, the laziness. And then, yeah.
Some will tell you that the inspiration is from the studio. So solo, actually play song and I don't get the inspiration.
That's laziness. Because me, I don't sleep. I spend time, days learning new things. I spend years actually learning new things, even though inspiration comes very easily to me, but I still don't sit down. And the other challenge is, of course, internet. Getting professional instruments in Sierra Leone is, of course, difficult, impossible.
Impossible. Okay, so what was you yourself, in as much as you're creative, you have the talent, yet still you do more because you want to have quality work that people will appreciate, and you have a scenario of having this artist coming to you and the artist is blank and nothing, like they will say, I want to have the inspiration from the studio, and you recommend, you have scenarios like that, you say, no, well, and this you for do, go so side. Does this acceptance, does this artist really say, okay, well, now listen to solo beats, or they will say, no, solo what I want, since I pay you 9 for do?
Well, with that, I usually have fights with my clients all the time. I fight, if the song is not good, I'll hold the song. Because, I don't care about the money, I care about my name, my tag on your song. But my first process, before working with an artist, we discuss. So indirectly, I force you to think about what you want to do. So I discuss, I allow you to tell me how you feel, what you're feeling about, what you're thinking about, and then with the way you explain to me, I will be able to take the creative side of you and then create something from your thoughts and my thoughts and put something in.
Of course, Jana, Sunday is the event, and by now you might have been sending some invitations to your loved ones, because gaining some experience from, of course, the Reverend and the team is not that kind of easy thing. At least you need people to go there and celebrate you and also be of help to the institution. What in your home part you representing the other choristers and graduates have you played towards the success of the celebration or the graduation?
I'm holding testimony because I'm undergoing the training. And I'll be installed as the praise and worship minister on Sunday, the 13th of November.
Legal praise and worship
So
minister.
congratulations in advance.
And they will be giving us a certificate as a legal praise and worship minister. And I want to take this opportunity to invite those out there. It will be on Sunday, the time is 2 p.m.
Do you know some of the consequences of being a praise and worship, a legal praise and worship minister? Of course, solo is here, solo is is a gospel producer as well, and he has been part of the gospel music minister. Do you know what some of the consequences? Because it implies spiritual thing, and it's like they sing this song. I've decided no turning back to follow Jesus.
Yeah.
No turning back. No turning
It
back.
comes with a lot of expectations.
A lot of
the way
expectations,
people
you know.
view you.
To whom much is given, much is expected.
Yes.
What will you say about that? You representing your fellow graduates, yes. Of you being a music minister, do you know what the implications behind it? It's going to be legal. It's not about you want to talk to me a music minister or no this that. Do you know what a minister is, and what the implication is going to be about your personal lives, some of the attitudes, some of the things you do that people will look at. Now this and they go lead with them. This guy who meets a club. This is how they make so this that. What will you say about that?
Well, it's all about self-discipline.
Okay.
You can talk to you in a praise and worship minister, and to others you can be, let me say, you say you go to church, you own microphones, God, and you know,
Lifestyle issue.
yes. Then the next morning there's in a club, people they're not going to even take you serious. Like even if you tell them about God, they're not going to take you serious. Say, this way you come on at church and club with you.
So what will be you, like, what do you intend for advice or say to these people out there? Because, let me say, on Sunday, then we'll give you the certificate. Then at the end of the day, you lifestyle change, the potty rating and give you the certificate for. Then other people that are there will be discouraged. They say, power then get the certificate, waiting there for sure. And so, what will be your advice to these people?
Well, my advice would be like,
So we
actually, like we need to be self-example to one another.
Don't do as I do.
Yeah.
Do as I say. Yeah. Yes. Continue as you were saying something.
It will be an example to others because we too the court case now others they look at.
Yeah.
So we for do wetin we know say na the best. And we not for go out of road. Once we don't decide to follow Jesus, there will be no turning back.
Yeah, so true. Yes, Reverend, of course, this we make a reaction in Korea, of course, we asked Jana because out there people will say, when I left football, don't they evidence about gospel music ministers. As we try for round up now the program, Una's the tutors then, wait till I can find out say Una they rate somebody before now, because it's not about participation and can get certificate. It's about somebody who desire for get the certificate for, you understand, for become an ordained minister, music minister. Because of course this don't be the trend now around the gospel community that most people are for being a minister, without going to the basic things. We understand the rules and regulation of you being a music minister. Of course, we know within the Old Testament talk about Levites. We know. Well, of course, you know the role of the Levites towards the thing. So, what will you say about that?
Well, I want to use life-changing Christian Center Prism as an example. And not say to join the church. But one thing we unique about the way she would affect for good as to do so. They know waiting in the after. That they give me zeal more while starting training. Another issue is parts with them. Likewise for other side of the go pass a friend in Bosch. For Bosch them good. You know what they talk now.
Yes.
Fine. So I find out say they are serious about their calling. And when I don't come now close to 5 to 6 months now, and they see things that we pass waiting, I'll be meeting them first. All waiting them be need now somebody for pushing no more. So they are among all I say go get for friend okulapa and the poor na pampa una say una can do. Now just somebody for give them confidence they not being get. That's what I can do. And we don't get church program them we then don't prove them.
Okay.
So they are not due. That's what the music director actually. Me and you're telling somebody like a overseer over there no more for make sure say things happen. The musical director when I'm attending in Coma, and they said they do very well, and I can't find out say now then thing then they. I make a tell initially say I say If you get zeal, the knowledge not there, you are a failure.
Okay.
But if you get zeal, then the knowledge there, then you are in success.
Okay.
Now, I don't make me don't succeed all this thing. So
Yeah.
I believe say now that's not the issue with praise, worship, and music ministers. One, that confidence. Two, discipline yourself. Like what sister, we sister been just talk with explain Guna. If you get a self-discipline, and we will always make sure say we prepare spiritually for the physical battle. Praise and worship now both physical and spiritual. We can prepare spiritually. Now I make part of the training itself. We as we can end with the jog. With the jog. Now make you see I still youthful and young, so with the jog, yes, we do all that I've seen the all that they don't go through. Okay. We will help you physically because you are going to do a spiritual program, but physically therefore use energy. Imagine the same way God wants for moving in a different dimension, then you are not physically fit. So all now one day, I believe say as a praise and worship minister, I don't want to let them come Sunday. People will see difference and then will be
within 60 seconds. So which side this event they happen? The time.
Okay, now 2 p.m. Sunday, now Life Changing Christian Center with General Overseer and Reverend Thomas Collier, a teacher of the word, a man who if you teach you not understand, you will ever understand again. Now in our leader and I believe say all who did it for just celebrate the graduates and get the graduates of the year. And listen to other, get 2 artists where they can with then just release an album with themselves they can be a blessing with a brother Suri and the other brother, then go there around.
Okay.
It will be brother Penny, it will be so wonderful. And that's me one for pass on as we try for close.
Yes. It's going to be fine.
What I'm not for advice, people already get view of program, and therefore be a wonderful program. So they take this opportunity for advice them, but let them kind of see what God is doing. Lives.
Yes, so finally as we time for round up, of course, the 26th, that's an upcoming event, and then also that we are able to performance from into money on the exhibition and all, which the invitation one for extend to your fellow musicians out there.
Well, especially on the 26th. We're all not used to this stereotypical boom bam boom music, but coming to Telem, it's a different experience. While it will also give musicians them confidence for us to go in and write music, their new music, and not be dictated by DJs and say, no, music for sound like this before we play out. Telem they give you the platform and the realization, say, this is art, and express yourself, do and perform, and people are out there who will appreciate you, so people need for calm experience how we do things, and yeah.
Okay. Well, I want to say thank you to all our guests in the studio for joining us today to talk about music, whether it be gospel, it be secular, it's just about music today. A lot of things about music. Of course, Kate has take us through some of the things that we need to know, beneficial things about earning from our music, and also what Telem can do for us in Sierra Leone. I think with Telem, there will be a lot of change in the aspect of music. Well, solo bit, I want to ask this question. Now, we're able to tell them they cater for we the gospel musician as well.
Yeah, tell them that general music.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. As long as you're good and you're different and you can deliver spontaneously.
Okay, well, so it's a big opportunity also for the gospel music community, because when there's somebody go to watch and say, yeah, this not for we and Osakila, but now it has been clear that you are part of all these packages of Telem. Well, Janet, still on Friday.
Of course, Friday.
And Christmas breeze don't begin to blow.
This year now, although things noisy, but not so. They say, "Thing monate, man must eat." So it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Enjoy, so you enjoy responsibly, ensure, and also, and not forget to be part of the graduation ceremony, and also, well,
the 26th, join our lax for a wonderful time with Telem.
Yeah.
And of course, we advise as well to we fellow youth them, so this cruise business.
Yeah, it's so disheartening, and though we be careful, because at the end of the day now we said we they do, not to these people. And most especially people them out there, you get to be careful because Mr. Ezekiel, just like the thing there where people and can don't take and they can they under the influence, then you just go challenge them. Sometimes you just get for let things be go away. You know what I mean? Say that means you lace or waiting, but these people they will get the heart win again.
And also for you as you to take of course, you know, say you get gift inside you, you get a lot of potential. Every man is born gifted. Every man is born gifted. You just need no more for no say this is my own area. I cannot be solo. I cannot be Reverend, I cannot be Jana, I cannot be Janet, I cannot be Kate. I have my own unique personality. So instead of me go disturb myself, I work on just a creating solo say, you just sit down and think. I think this is what we're missing. They have sit down and think. So if we start for sit down and begin think
and work
out certain things them and work hard just a creating solo say. Oh, imagine all night somebody in sleep. They were more imagine body back the big parade. So imagine so that mean when they sleep they hit a lot. So at least think, work hard, then you gain from what you work. Well, also one for say Tata and thank you for joining me today now the Start the Morning Show on Start Television, the entertainment segment. We've been your host, I've been Ezekiel Kagbo.
And I am Janet Mugezaiza. Have a wonderful weekend.